I keep going at this every day and learning how to perfect my life to be the best self and be, holistic, about my finances, about everything and what I want to do for a life and how do I really want to help people and how am I going to get there. It just keeps getting more and more vivid as I keep going at it with my different techniques that I'm using. And I would say a bullet journal, what it has, I know I went on a little tangent there, but I get so passionate sometimes when I realize what I'm doing with my life. And a bullet journal, what it does is you could put down the bullet points of what you really want to do for the day. You also, for me, what I added into there was my highlights of my day, what went well, and what things I learned today. What could I, do that would improve my life? So it's sort of like the journal I've been hearing from people, but I forget the 5-minute journal, I think it is. But I don't do that. But I do that same thing in different ways through my meditation and stuff. So all these things will cultivate you into getting more organized. The journal's a big essential. Really getting a calendar on your phone. A Google Calendar works great. Color-coded, whatever you want to do, make it fun. And if you have a spouse, let them use their account and log into their account on your thing so you guys could share calendars and know what each other's doing. I feel that's really good communication. And when you book your schedule, don't book it like I book my schedule. I like to book it, but I book it in a way where it's like 60, 70% full. So the extra 30 and 40 is like for life. Whatever happens in life, things could come up. And maybe those are the moments you could enjoy. You could put in a little extra work, whatever. But don't book yourself so deep that you're rushing so much that you're going crazy.
Now,
be able to do everything in a relaxed manner.
Yeah. When did you start this process? Is it something you did recently, or it's been a couple of years going, or I'm just curious.
I would say I started challenging myself about 6 months ago, like with the spirituality and sticking with it for like every morning, and really changing myself. But I've been practicing different things for the last 5 years of my life, 4 years. I've been spiritually developing, mentally developing, working out. I looked at so many different like lifestyles and mindsets of the world from different businesses and watching different things, and I focused on what now I'm finding out what I want more and more, so I get to define it, what I want in my life. I'm seeing taking care of yourself is a key essential.
Yeah, I do think, taking care of yourself and taking care of your family and loved ones, it should be a very high priority. Unfortunately, a lot of the young people don't see that, and that's what's scary.
I agree.
Yeah, I see so many young kids nowadays, and I call kids somebody between, probably 18 or 16 to like probably 30, because I don't see a lot of kids, and I call them kids because I'm 66, and I look at the young people, and I don't see them at a maturity level anymore till they're close to 30, where back a few years ago it was maybe in the mid-20s, and that right there is scary. And then you start talking to them, and a lot of them don't even have anything, like what you're talking about. They don't have a plan in their life at all, let alone from day to day.
Right.
And that is really scary. That it is. I mean, I can even say that with a few of I have 8 children, and I can say out of a few of them, they're approaching 30, and they don't even know from day to day what they're going to do, and it's scary when and you sit there and try to guide them, and they don't want to hear it, and that's a problem with. I don't know your age, but I do find that quite common with younger people.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. I'm 26 years old. You said you're 66. Where are you located, Gary?
We're up on the West Coast in a little place called Gig Harbor, Washington. We're across the bay from Seattle and next to Tacoma. Have you ever heard of those places?
Yeah, I'm actually going to Seattle next month for a day.
Yeah, Seattle I grew up in Seattle, but I haven't been living in Seattle probably for 40 years, and it has totally changed from when I was a kid. I mean, it's just, it's just almost like I remember when I was a kid, I would spend the summer up in Oakland, the Bay Area of California, and it was so crowded with people. And, I hate to say it, Seattle is now like... if you move to L.A. or you move to any of those type of places, and the people's mindsets are that way too.
Well, yeah, everybody's getting. I feel the phones could really take over people's minds, their personalities, and things like that. I feel it's one of the greatest tools because it's like a computer in your hand, right? You should learn to utilize it and get the right phones to really activate your life, but you also want to be able to put it down and be a human and, like, just walk a little slow sometimes and say hi to people, and you get to spread the love and joy. So I would definitely say that this could mess with people. What was the topic we were just approaching?
Well, I was just saying that young people aren't focused. You were mentioning that, you have your bullet journal. You write down, pretty much it sounds like your plan for each day is, and what I was saying, young people nowadays, they have a hard time knowing what their whole life is, let alone, trying to be focused on, one day.
Oh, okay, I get it. So what I was gonna say to that was, sometimes we look short term, right? Because we could only see today. But when you start thinking in a 5-10 year span, you get to really build out your life and your vision and your dream. If you think in the day-to-day, you also won't save. You won't put in the work effort. You got to really analyze what you want. And when you know what you want, it changes your life. And when I say what you want, sure you could want the money and the cars and everything. But what do you want for yourself, right? Like, what kind of lifestyle do you want to live? How do you want to treat people, right? What would you do for your family? Would you buy your mother a house or your sister a car? How would you treat your family and friends? How would you treat your community, the world? What would you want to give back to the world and the community? What gifts and talents do you want to share? What would you like to spread in this world? And like when you find out what you want for your life, then you could start focusing on the details and how to get there and visualizing it and realizing you could actually get there. Because a lot of people have dreams, but then because they've been let down so much in their life, they don't feel like they could ever get to that dream. And the thing is, you could if you just get focused, get around the right people, the right mentors, and surround yourself by greatness and realize the greatest person is inside of you. Because if you could look at yourself and change yourself for what you want, you could have what you want.
Well, what do you want out of life? I mean, is it riches or happiness? I mean, I know myself. I've been rich at one time. I'm not now, but I was at one point in my life, very rich, and I wasn't very happy. Now I'm just like an average person, and you know what? I'm very happy. I do a talk show I love. I got a beautiful wife, been married 40 years. I take each day as it comes, and I plan out each day pretty much like what you do. I get up in the morning, I read my notes from the day before, and then the week before, and then the month I have ahead of time, because I run, booking people in up to a month, and then I try to learn a little bit about each person before I bring them on the show, and, if I can. And my philosophy is I want to treat people like, I want to be treated, and I'm going to give them the respect that I expect, in return. I don't know, the money situation. Again, I known people that were filthy rich, and it changed them for the worse. Now I used to run around also with a crowd of wealthy people. And you know what? The majority of them aren't happy. They're really not. They gave up something to be where they're at, and I think they gave up their ability to care about other people.
Wow. Yeah, That's where love is like essential. And when you don't, like, take care of your friends and family, the people closest to you, because that's how you build community. Community will only keep growing, and those people will become your family. But you start with your inner circle, right? And I would say, yeah, when you do certain jobs, you're not being your true, authentic self. And when you're able to be genuine and pour love on everything and everyone you encounter in your job, not your job, but like your lifestyle, you could, I don't know, live the greatest. I feel like I see how I'm treating people and living the greatest life, and that's like so beautiful. Also, I would say I'm doing something right in financial independence, financial freedom, and I feel like I'm gonna help and support my family and friends and creating a stable income to make sure we could all have good times together, right? And that's gonna only grow in the communities I work with, and it'll impact a lot. So I could spend the time with the people I love the most and help them become wealthy. In a good, loving, genuine, caring about people, putting people first type of way. And I feel like that's the key to true success. And what I really want is world peace. But, like, I'm going to break it down to what I'll do. I want to help end suffering and join humanity by making sure everyone has access to food, water, and shelter. I want them to have access to food, water, and shelter. I know places like America has it, but people don't take advantage of it. Maybe it may not have enough. I'll definitely look into those things. But I want to make sure people that don't even have access throughout the world are able to become a contribution and not looked at like a nuisance, and allow them to be loved on too while we deprive them of anything. So that's one big thing I want. And then I will further that to healthcare and education. I see it as, setting up places for these people to get nurtured at 3 to 4 weeks, and then build like agriculture stores. At the same time, they have schools and daycares for the kids, so everything else could be functioned with. And you work through their government, and you have the fundings to help them and things like that. Then this is part of my whole purpose, and I want to inspire the young and people who have given up on themselves. So I started speaking in schools. I'm getting my vendor's license, and I'm working to speak with kids. I spoke with kids that have been in situations with bullying in some of the schools with like bad bullying. I've also been into schools where it's nice, and I'm talking to people about health and wellness and different variations. And I have a lot of talk so far. And the last part is I want to grow my networks through health and wellness and my different endeavors. Like I've done Toastmasters, I'm doing it currently. I've just created a business in health and wellness where I'm trying to join all health practitioners under one corporation or umbrella or whatever. It's not really an umbrella. It's nobody going to have restrictions. Just to join us all as one so we could give the society the best treatment and make sure everyone doesn't have to be greedy, and we share, well, not share, but like just spread the connections. Actually, it's not even about the money. It's about connecting everybody in the world and allowing them to have the opportunity to connect.
Well, I think that's important, Where is your book available at this point?
Barnes & Nobles and online and Amazon as well. You could just Google or search it, Abundance, A Journey from Anxiety and Depression. And my name is Jay Sooknanan, and it'll pop up. Jay Sooknanan, Sooknanan.
Okay. Is it like a weekend type of read or longer than that or a night read? I mean, how big a book is it?
It's a night read, but to actually go through the material in the book, it'll probably take you a good few hours. Maybe you'll need 2 or 3 days. So, like, if you want to put some real insight and change your life and go through the exercises, it'll probably take you 2 to 4 days. Also, that's why we throw the retreats. We get people to go through the book in that time